If you're like me and you thought digital marketing was just about pretty ads and clever captions, then you need to think again. Today's guest lives in the numbers: thumb stop ratios, conversion rates, ad spend down to the dollar. Danni Russell started in science, landed in marketing, and never left the data behind. She's here to show you the side of digital marketing nobody posts about. Here we go.
Danni, welcome to the 20-Minute Career.
Thanks for having me.
I want to learn all about digital marketing. So let's kick it off by you explaining to us what digital marketing is, and was it something that you were always wanting to get into?
Digital marketing, it's a bit of a beast these days. When I first started, it was fairly siloed, and digital marketing entailed CRM, marketing automation, sending out emails. But then you also had paid performance, and then you also generally had someone who was managing websites, whether that was an e-commerce or just a branded website. Today, however, we kind of have our fingers across all pies, and we tend to manage what we would call an ecosystem. So looking at how a consumer would run across multiple different channels, whether it be through paid social, through SEO and AEO, and how, the likes of ChatGPT have changed the world of search in Google.
SEO and AEO,
Yes.
what do they mean?
So SEO is search engine optimization, and it's the world before artificial intelligence, where we were really chasing keywords. So we would ensure that a website would be full of high intent keywords that was particular to a particular niche, so that if you were to search career options for your website, you would actually show up organically. So you wouldn't then have to pay for the click to get people onto site. However, AEO's kind of changed that game, because what happens now is that
And AEO stands for artificial?
engine optimization. So the co-pilots and the chat GPTs, they will scrape a website now. They'll find the information that they're after, and then they'll present it back to someone in a readable format, saying that this is who is the best person to go and look for. So it's slightly different, because you have to be able to structure your site with the correct content in the correct way, so that it's easy for the agents to basically read it.
Okay.
Did I actually start out with a plan to go into digital marketing? No, I actually started out in science. Yes, I was doing a Bachelor of Science at Sydney, and I decided that I couldn't see myself in a lab. I stopped that, and then I went and got a part-time job at David Jones working in the ladies' shoe department. And over a 6-8 month period, I realized that what I really missed from school was doing design and art. So I enrolled in a Bachelor of Design at COFA at UNSW, and I started there. I did graphic design as one of my honours. I decided to just get an internship in graphic design, and I actually started out at a medical company. The only reason I did that was because it was leverage. I could get a job and get paid, because I worked with the marketing team quite closely. When a maternity leave placement came in for a marketing coordinator, I jumped at it and moved from graphic design into marketing. And then that was it.
That was the beginning.
That was the beginning. Yeah.
Wow, that's fascinating. I would never have thought of you as a scientist.
Yeah.
But anyway, so day to day, because you now run your own business.
Yes, I do.
What does a day in the life of a digital marketer look like? How would you describe that?
There's two different ways that you could run from a digital marketing perspective. You could work in an actual company, or you're working for clients. From a client's perspective, it's ensuring that the metrics are all working across the sites. So doing a quick deep dive, making sure that we're hitting KPIs and ensuring that we're hitting those key revenue goals or brand goals, whatever they may be, and then adjusting various different kind of performance indicators based on that. So if we're seeing that we're not hitting revenue in a particular ad or particular campaign set, we'll make adjustments across it. So a lot of that starts out the day. There's a lot of meetings. I got to meet a lot of people, get lots of information, kind of pull that back and turn it into digestible information for them so that they actually know what we're planning to do. There's a lot of strategy, a lot of testing. So we test various different channels to ensure that what might work on Reddit for one client may not work on Reddit for another client.
Yeah.
And lots of reporting. I spend my life reporting numbers. So that's where
So
I
it's
suppose
quite
that
a
science, yeah,
data heavy role, even though you may not think that it is.
yeah, very data
Mm.
heavy. It's looking at what kind of works from a return of ad investment to how does that actually work from a creative perspective as well. So we have various different metrics like thumb stop ratios and through plays where we actually look at how effective a piece of creative is at stopping people and getting them to actually do what we want them to do. It might be really engaging, but when
Mm.
they actually land on a landing page, they're not actually making that conversion. So then we start looking at the landing page. Maybe the landing page isn't built out the way that it should be, and it's not driving that conversion, or there's like a tiny little thing that's stopping somebody. You know, you may not notice that the add to cart button isn't working on a particular part of the website, and that's actually stopping your conversion and dropping your conversion rate by 10-20%. And by fixing
Mm.
that, you can actually make numerous sales. So it's very data heavy.
Whenever I think of digital marketing, I would put digital marketing and social media marketing into the same
Yeah.
bucket. But it sounds as though it's quite different.
Yeah, you're right. Social media marketing is generally things that happen organically. So it's
Okay.
looking at setting up that engagement and creating community within a platform. It kind of came about because of Instagram and Facebook. Facebook groups, we can pull together communities. It's pulling together specific types of content in a different type of way. So the
Mm.
way that you might do it, for instance, on say a TikTok versus an Instagram would be very, very different.
Mm.
TikTok has a different kind of algorithm. And then when you look at that from a paid perspective, paid is more about the hook, the stop, and the cutting from the actual Instagram feed or as people are going through their feeds, you need to be able to catch their attention to get them to actually do an action. So it's a
Yeah.
slightly different piece of content and creative.
You mentioned a little bit about SEO and now you've got AEO. Uh, AI is clearly impacting digital marketing. How are you working with AI at the moment in your role?
I use AI daily. A lot of people don't realize that AI has probably been around, especially for digital marketing, for many years. It's just kind of come to the forefront with the ChatGPTs and the Claudes and things like that. And previous to them being available, we were utilizing it across a lot of marketing automation to actually drive email marketing and SMS marketing. It was also being used across a lot of the algorithms. So we would have, in TikTok, say a Smart Plus campaign, which was where the actual AI and the algorithm was working to find the best person for this piece of content. Similarly, Meta has it, and PMAX is one of the oldest kind of ad campaigns within Google that has been utilizing AI and has been doing for many, many years. So we've kind of been working with AI for a very long time. The boom of this whole, you can now chat to AI and it can do everything for you is slightly different.
Mm.
Yes, we obviously use it to help workflows and things like that. I have various different kind of workflows set up within Claude at the moment where it'll pull information out of, say, a Slack channel and
Mm.
put that information into a report format for us so that we can do our weekly check-ins with clients. It's still human, but it's just taking that administrative kind of task away. So
Yeah.
instead of spending half an hour pulling together the information to a pretty deck, somebody else does it for you. And then in terms of like the actual function, when we see it within digital marketing, AEO is playing a huge role within websites at the moment. It's obviously enabling lots of people to be able to build websites really quickly, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best way to go about it.
Mm.
What we find is it uses a lot of code that is unnecessary and it slows things down. Also, when you build a website and a web page now, you've got to take that into consideration. So we've got to make sure that we've got, FAQs have to be written in a particular format now and should be on every page of the website so that the AI can read it and know the answers straight away. And then you also need to have that within the back end up in the code base as well. So yes, it's kind of seems a little scary, but yeah, no, it's just a different way of doing things. Again, it's a new iteration. So yeah, yeah,
Things change all the time, so you need to get used to that, right?
100%, always iterating.
When people look at marketing, I guess, and digital marketing sounds pretty cool, what is it that people don't see that that you sort of think, yeah, that's sort of the kind of parts of my job that are a bit challenging? What's
I
that?
think the thing about marketing is it has this very glamorous lens over the top of it, and it
Yeah.
looks like fun. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of work. And these days, especially for digital, it's even more so than just
Mm,
marketing in general because you have multiple channels that you need to be across. So that means you're managing ad funnels for TikTok, Meta, ChatGPT, Reddit. Then you're also managing SEO, AEO for website pages. You've got to build
mm,
landing pages. So I think in terms of the glamorousness of marketing, it's not necessarily there. There are some really long days and there are some periods seasonally that are just manic. So, in a financial year is always crazy.
mm.
Uh, the beginning of the new financial year is always hard because everybody gets new budgets. So everyone's like, yep, let's go. I've got all of this money. And then you also have that Black Friday Christmas period, which is just manic. So we start ramping up and getting prepped for that normally August. So
Yeah.
this time of year becomes pretty hectic. It's fun, but it's a lot of hard work.
What would you say are some of the key pressures of your role?
I think the main pressures is trying to keep clients happy. So, and keeping those expectations to where they should be. A lot of people think that as soon as they get like an agency involved, then it's hands off. They don't need to worry about anything anymore. But, we need you to be actively engaged. The pressure of trying to hit those KPIs can be quite a lot. Sometimes
From the customer perspective? Yeah.
from a customer perspective and trying to have those conversations. But other times, you smash it because if you can gain the trust and actually build it out with them, it tends to work really well.
For digital marketing, what would you say some of the benefits that you see are?
You get to meet a wide range of people across various different industries. And I think
Do you
that's,
meet famous people?
oh, not really, that'd be nice. But I mean, like you get to go across multiple, well, especially my kind of position. You get to work with a range of different industries, which I really love. One industry will do one thing in one particular way, and you can take that and put it to another industry, and it works just as well. And this is the other reason, probably, why I decided to move to more working for myself than just one particular company is that you can kind of get a little bit siloed and stuck in one industry. And that's the way we've done it. And we've always done it that way, as in I can kind of be like, well, no, I think you should try this because I've
Yeah.
seen it work here. And, I like that kind of thing.
Must be lifestyle benefits given that you work for yourself.
Working for myself, definitely I have lifestyle benefits. I get to kind of arrange my time, which is great because I've got young children. So
Yeah.
being able to pick them up from school sometimes or take them to various different things or even go to that school event that's in the middle of the day. I can also work from anywhere. So I have
Yeah.
my laptop and sometimes that means that when we're on holidays, I'll work a couple of days while we're popping cans or wherever, but at least that means that I can be like with the family, even though it's taking a couple of phone calls and things like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
from a lifestyle perspective, it's definitely there. And
Mm.
yeah, it's fun. You get to meet some really interesting suppliers. We were at TikTok earlier this week, which was really cool, meeting some of the global heads of TikTok and seeing what they're doing and how they're approaching everything. So yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Lots of continual learning,
Always,
cross-industry learning, keeping your skills relevant for the future, most importantly.
always, always learning. The algorithms are changing pretty much yearly at the moment. Meta did a massive algorithm change at the end of last year, which threw us all into a spin. But, you use it to your advantage and then, you start out again and keep going.
Fast, final 5 questions. We're going to move through these fairly quickly, Dan.
Yeah.
You ready?
Okay, I think so.
Okay, let's go. So, what has your career taught you about yourself?
That I can do anything if I put my mind to it.
What's one mistake or challenge that taught you an important lesson?
Sending an email out that was not meant to go out. So it taught me proofreading and making sure that you QA everything before it goes live.
I think everyone's done that, right?
Yeah, you didn't send it to 1,000 people.
Oh, God. Okay, radio. I haven't done it to that many, but good lesson to learn.
Yes.
What skill do you think is going to really matter in the future?
I think the biggest skill that you need is critical thinking. I know that's a hard thing to push out there and it's not something that's easily learnt, but with AI coming in, we're seeing it now. We see a lot of what we call work slop comes through. It might look pretty, but there's not a lot of substance in there. And so basically you need to be able to look, analyze, and critically think and work out what the best option is. AI is a great tool, but it's a tool. It's not something that can do your job for you. You need to be able to analyze the situation, get the data in that you need, test and learn, try again, and critically think. So yeah.
Yep. That's something that I'm hearing a lot of, so not surprising at all.
Yeah.
What excites you most about where digital marketing is heading?
It's changing all the time. And I think that's the most exciting thing about it. My job when I first started, as I said, was very siloed. And, I kind of started in CRM and marketing automation, and it had nothing to do with any other aspect of digital. And nowadays it's so interwebbed and we've got lots of different formats coming out all the time. And yeah, it's always iterating, which makes it really fun.
And if you were 20 again,
Oh.
what advice would you be giving yourself?
If I was 20 again, what advice? Be more confident in yourself and back yourself, because that funny gut feeling is probably right. So, you spend a lot of time in meetings. So learn to back what you say and say it confidently, because 9 times out of 10 you were on the right hunch. You didn't say it or stand up for yourself. So yeah.
Thanks for being on the podcast today, Danni.
Pleasure. It's been great. Really appreciate it.